Align items, well, they define how your items should be aligned along the cross-axis. And as I said before, by default, that is from top to bottom. And Flex Start aligns them to the start of the Flexbox. And that is according to the cross-axis again. And Flex Center is opposite. Centers them. And using that one is really powerful because now you can finally have an easy way to get a vertical alignment that is centered. Stretch is actually default, and that stretches the elements. They will have the equal same height so that you get equal column height. And that was also a big problem prior to the Flexbox. What we should remember though is that that we will see shortly is that if you do have a specific height, that will actually override the stretch. But we take a look at this one shortly. And then you have baseline that kind of aligns the text to the baseline of the text. So let's take a look at that one. And to see this one, now we need to add a specific height to this container. So let's add a minimum height of 200 pixels. Like that. Now you see that they are all higher than the element that they have here. And now if I go in here and say align items, and let's take the first one and also set that to flex end. Now you'll see that this row moves to the bottom. And if I take this one and add an align items center, we see that now that those elements are centered within this container, so we get a vertical alignment in this one. And we also had stretch, so let's try this one and say that we should have align items stretch. Well, nothing happens. And as I said before, stretch is the default, but why don't they stretch? Well, because they have a specific height up here, and that will override this one. So if I remove this one, you see that now they do stretch, but so do the next two. And the reason for that is that, well, they don't have any align items attribute, and that means that they will fall back to the default value, which is stretch. So, but if we finally take this align items and set that to baseline, it should be one word without, like that, baseline. You see that now it kind of feels like it is the same as Flex Start. But what we have here is actually that it looks into the text line. And to make this clear, we can do like this. If we take the container 4 and maybe box 2 and we make that into a height, if I just could spell correctly, and say that it should be 150 pixels, and then I also increase the line height to 150 pixels. You see that now it moved the text down because now it says that this line should be 150 pixels. This is actually, if you have just one line of text, then this is a good way to center the text, and that is to set the line height to the same as the height of the element. But now you see that the other boxes actually moved down because now they need to align the base of the text here. So that is the baseline of the align items. So finally, there is another attribute that we have, and that is the justify or the align content.